It is the most famous war ever told. A stolen queen, 1,000 ships, 10 years of siege, and one wooden horse. For most of modern history, scholars filed the Trojan War exactly where they filed dragons. Beautiful poetry. Zero history. Then archaeologists went to a quiet hill in northwest Turkey, a place called Hisarlik, and started digging. What they found changes the question. Not did Homer make it up, but how much of his story is sitting under the sand. Because we found the city. It is real. It is far bigger than anyone believed. And it burned. The answer involves a smuggled treasure that ended up in Moscow, and a clay tablet written by Troy's worst enemies. And it involves the strangest question in archaeology. Was there ever actually a horse? This is the story of how a myth turned into a crime scene, one layer at a time. In 1870, a German millionaire named Heinrich Schliemann arrived at Hisarlik with Homer in one hand and a small army of workmen in the other. He was rich, obsessed, and in a hurry, the three most dangerous qualities an archaeologist can have. He cut a massive trench straight down through the hill, leveling walls and tearing through 3,000 years of history. And then he struck gold, literally. Goblets, diadems, bracelets, thousands of gold beads. He called it Priam's treasure, and photographed his wife Sophia wearing what he named the Jewels of Helen. Then he smuggled the entire hoard out of Ottoman Turkey, hidden, the story goes, in baskets of vegetables. The treasure was seized by the Nazis, captured by Soviet troops in 1945, and sits in Moscow's Pushkin Museum to this day. One problem. The gold came from a layer dated 2500 BC, 1,000 years before the Trojan War could have happened. Schliemann had found the right city and the wrong millennium. In his hurry, he had dug straight through the Troy he was looking for. Because Hisarlik is not one city. It is at least 9, stacked like a layer cake across 3,500 years. The layer that matters is Troy 6. Citadel walls, 5 meters thick, 9 meters high, crowned with watchtowers. And in the 1980s, archaeologists found something hiding beyond the citadel. An entire lower city, 30 hectares wide. Overnight, Troy became 16 times larger than anyone had assumed. A true Bronze Age capital of up to 10,000 people. A defensive ditch, cut into bedrock, ringed the city, and Greek pottery litters the site. The two worlds knew each other well. Around 1300 BC, an earthquake brought the great towers down. Remember that earthquake? It matters late. The rebuilt city, Troy 7A, feels different, crowded and nervous. Storage jars sunk into every floor. A city packing for a siege. Around 1180 BC, it burned. In its streets, bronze arrowheads, piles of sling stones, and human skeletons buried in a hurry. That is not a natural disaster. That is a city that died fighting. But ruins cannot name their attacker. For a name, you need paperwork. And far to the east, Troy's neighbors kept the best paperwork in the Bronze Age world. The Hittite Empire archived everything on clay tablets. And in those tablets, one city keeps appearing. Wilusa. Say it next to the Greek names for Troy. Wilios, Ilios, the Iliad. Linguists agree. Same sit. Around 1280 BC, a Hittite treaty names the king of Wilusa, Alexandu, Homer gives Paris of Troy a second name, Alexandrus.
Scribe,
A
record this
later
decree.
royal letter
The
complains
kingdom's
to the
taxes
king
shall
of
increase.
Ahiawa,
Yes, my
the
lord.
Hittite spelling of
And
Achaeans,
build more
Homer's
monuments.
word for the Greeks. It says, Wilusa was once a bone of contention between the two powers, a diplomatic way of saying, we fought over it. Read that again. Troy's enemies, in their own official records, confirm Greeks and Hittites clashed over Troy, right when the ruins burned. No poet wrote this. Clerks did. The Trojan War has a paper trail, which leaves the icon, the horse. And here is the honest answer. Archaeologists have never found a splinter of it. We have the walls, the fire, the arrowheads, the skeletons, the enemy's letters. The horse exists only in poetry. So what was it? 4 theories compete for the job. Theory 1. A siege engine. A wooden battering ram crawling toward the gates, remembered by poets as a beast on wheels. Theory 2 is stranger. An earthquake. Poseidon was the god of exactly 2 things, horses and earthquakes. And Troy 6 really did fall to an earthquake. A wall, flattened by the earthshaker, becomes, in the retelling, the god's wooden gift. Theory 3. The ships themselves. Greek poets called ships seahorses, a fleet delivering soldiers into the city. And Theory 4, the one most scholars quietly favor. Homer simply invented the best plot twist in literary history because Homer composed 4 centuries after the fire, as far from the war as we are from the age of pirates and tall ships. 400 years of retelling can turn a battering ram into a horse, an earthquake into a god, and a raid into an epic. So here is the real shape of the Trojan War. A rich, real city sitting at the toll gate of the Dardanelles that everyone wanted. A real war that left arrowheads in its streets. Real enemies who filed real complaints about it. Wrapped, centuries later, in the greatest story ever told. The horse may be a poem. The fire was not. Next time, the world's oldest port ledger. What the pharaoh's paperwork reveals about the ships, mines, and money behind the pyramids.